Have you ever wondered what makes people rise up? What pushes an entire society to the brink, to tear down the old and build something new? From the cobblestone streets of Paris to the digital squares of the Arab Spring, the story of revolution is the story of humanity's unyielding quest for freedom and justice. Today, we're embarking on a journey through time, exploring the great revolutions that have shaken the world and shaped our modern reality. Let's travel back to late 18th century France. Imagine a society sharply divided. A lavish monarchy and aristocracy living in splendor, while the common people, the third estate, shoulder the burden of taxes and hunger. The air is thick with the ideas of the Enlightenment thoughts of liberty, equality, and the rights of man. Philosophers like Rousseau and Voltaire aren't just writing books. They're planting seeds of change in the minds of millions. The cry for liberty, equality, fraternity wasn't just a slogan, it was a promise of a new world. On July 14, 1789, the people of Paris stormed the Bastille, a medieval fortress used as a state prison. It was a symbolic act, a powerful declaration that the old regime's power was crumbling. This wasn't just a riot. It was the spark that ignited the French Revolution. What followed was a decade of radical social and political upheaval. The monarchy was abolished. King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette were executed, and the First French Republic was born. It was a messy, often violent process, marked by the Reign of Terror, where ideals were twisted and fear ruled. Yet, despite the chaos, the revolution's impact was undeniable. It dismantled feudalism, championed the idea of a nation of citizens, not subjects, and its principles echoed across Europe and the Americas, inspiring countless others to question their own rulers. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen became a foundational text for modern democracy, a blueprint for freedom that we still refer to today. Now, let's leap forward about a century and a half, across the globe to Russia in 1917. The vast Russian Empire is embroiled in World War I, and the cost is staggering. Millions of soldiers are dying on the front lines, while back home, people are starving. The Tsarist regime, led by Nicholas II, is seen as incompetent and out of touch. The disconnect between the ruling class and the suffering masses is a chasm waiting to collapse. In February, protests erupted in Petrograd, now St. Petersburg. What started as women demanding bread quickly swelled into a mass strike. The soldiers, ordered to fire on the crowds, turned and joined them instead. Within days, the Tsar was forced to abdicate. A provisional government took over, but it failed to address the people's most urgent demands: peace, land, and bread. This created a power vacuum, and into it stepped a determined and organized group, the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin. He offered a simple, powerful promise that resonated with the weary population. In October 1917, the Bolsheviks seized power in a swift, calculated coup, what we now call the October Revolution. This wasn't just a change of government. It was the birth of the world's first communist state. The Russian Revolution fundamentally redrew the global political map. It established an ideological rival to Western capitalism, setting the stage for the Cold War, a decades-long standoff that would define the 20th century. From China to Cuba, the events in Russia inspired communist movements worldwide, proving that a small, dedicated group could indeed overthrow a powerful empire and build a radically different society. But revolutions aren't just a thing of the past. Let's fast forward to the 21st century. To a new kind of uprising, one powered not by pamphlets, but by pixels. The Arab Spring. It began in late 2010, not with a grand declaration, but with a single, desperate act. In Tunisia, a young street vendor named Mohamed Bouazizi set himself on fire to protest police harassment and economic hardship. His act of defiance, captured on a phone and shared online, became a digital spark. It went viral. Within weeks, the outrage it fueled had toppled Tunisia's long-standing dictator. This was something new. The message of protest was no longer controlled by state media. It was spreading person to person through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The fire from Tunisia quickly spread across the Arab world. In Egypt, millions gathered in Cairo's Tahrir Square. Their protests coordinated and amplified through social media, leading to the downfall of President Hosni Mubarak after 30 years in power. Similar uprisings shook Libya, Yemen, Syria, and Bahrain. People who had lived in fear for decades were finding their voice, demanding dignity, democracy, and an end to corruption. The Arab Spring demonstrated the incredible power of technology to connect people and mobilize them for a common cause. It showed that in the digital age, a revolution can start with a single tweet or a Facebook post. Of course, the outcomes have been complex and varied. While Tunisia managed a transition to democracy, other countries descended into brutal civil wars or saw authoritarianism return. It serves as a powerful reminder that overthrowing a dictator is often just the first, and sometimes the easiest, step. Building a stable, free society is the much longer and harder struggle. So, what connects these monumental events? Separated by centuries and continents, the French Revolution gave us the ideological blueprint for modern democracy. The Russian Revolution offered a radical alternative, reshaping global politics for nearly a century. And the Arab Spring showed us how technology has changed the very nature of protest itself. But at their core, all revolutions are driven by the same fundamental human desires. The desire for dignity, the yearning for justice, and the unwavering belief that a better world is possible. They are born from the moment when the fear of the status quo becomes greater than the fear of the unknown. They are a testament to the fact that when people unite, they have the power to challenge empires, topple tyrants, and change the course of history. The story of revolution is ongoing. It didn't end with the Arab Spring, and it continues to unfold in different ways all around us. By understanding these pivotal moments from our past, we gain a deeper insight into the struggles for freedom and democracy that continue to shape our World today. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through history. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. What historical event should we dive into next? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.